property that we've been wanting to do a maze for well over 10 years, pretty much as long as we've been doing Horror Nights. But like The Exorcist, it's an incredibly difficult property to translate into what we do for Halloween Horror Nights or any live experience. That's because, like a lot of films of its era, it's a slow burn. It starts off slow and the action, builds in intensity, but you also have kind of two main things going on with the movie, both of which are really hard to translate to a live experience. One is Jack Nicholson's character, Jack Torrance, this idea that he is losing his mind early in the movie, and it's actually what we're going to be doing out here in front of the facade in addition to the music. You're hearing that interview, that first interview that he had when he goes to the Overlook Hotel, and Mr. Ullman feels obliged to tell him about the past caretaker, a guy who is referred to as Charles Grady in that scene. And then, for some reason, later in the film when he shows up as a ghost and introduces himself to Jack, he's Delbert Grady, which is one of the many mysteries of The Shining. There's all kinds of things like that with that movie. But in addition to this idea that Jack's losing his mind, that you have to somehow convey in this maze, there's also Danny, his son, who has the Shining, which is where the title of the book and the movie come from. The ability to telepathically communicate, to also see future events before they happen. So you kind of have to deal with both of those things. When my art director Chris and I first sat down to design this maze, the first thing we did is we just made a list of every element we thought had to be in this maze if we were going to do a Shining maze. And then we proceeded to figure out how to do that. And a lot of it involves resisting the temptation that every haunt designer has, that, as soon as you walk in, someone jumps out and tries to chop you in half with an axe or something like that. That's not really Kubrick's film. So we're trying to walk that fine line between presentational things that are purely visual and, I'm going to chop you in half with an axe, and hopefully we've done both of that. It's the same exact challenge we faced with The Exorcist. When we really sat down to look at The Exorcist last year, we realized really quickly that, oh my God, the whole movie takes place in a bedroom, and there's an 11-year-old girl, and she never gets out of bed, and it's just going to be looking at stuff. So we had to come up with our own way of paying homage to all of those things you have to see in an Exorcist maze, but also scaring the hell out of people. And for us in The Exorcist, which happened to be in this exact same spot, that really became the character of Pazuzu, the demon that you just see as flash frames in the movie. Every time we went into the bedroom of The Exorcist, we immediately took you into total darkness, and that figure of that demon would be the thing that was scaring you. And by combining those two elements, the presentational and the hard scare, that equaled a really successful experience. So we have to do a lot of the same type of thing with The Shining. I'll give you an example of what we want inside. So this is obviously the hedge maze. This is the hedge maze before the storm hits. And then we bookended at the end with the hedge maze after the storm hits.
If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more coverage from MUSE.